Well, welcome back to Study on Spotlight. So today we have Jonathan, the Managing Director of the Dukes Education Group. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So would you like to quickly introduce yourself and what's Duke of Education?
Of course, yeah. Dukes Education is an educational family of schools that is founded by our chairman, Atif Hassan, and is based out of London and has grown into being the largest educational group in the UK. And now we have moved into Europe, and we moved into Europe 2 years ago, and we now educate even more students in Europe than we do in the UK. So my role within that is I am managing director of what we call the colleges division. And the colleges, we have 10 colleges where we have more of a boarding option as well for students. So it looks after students from around the globe, hence why I'm in Hong Kong, supporting our sales team in trying to recruit some fantastic young people for the colleges. So we have 2 schools in Kent, in the south of England. We have 3 in Cambridge. We have Cardiff Sixth Form College in Cardiff and 1 Cardiff campus in Cambridge. We have 2 in Ireland. We have 1 in Hampstead in London, and we also look after a school in Verbier up the mountain.
Oh, wow. Well, we just mentioned about Cardiff Sixth Form College, and I'm pretty sure our audience will have known the school is very prestigious and very well known for students who want to catch their dream, especially studying medicine program or aiming for like a very prestigious university. So we know that there is a new campus opening up.
There is.
So is there any? Can you tell us what's exciting about it? And
there's so much to say. I mean, it is incredibly exciting. They have, obviously, as you rightly reflect, they have been the #1 academic school for the last 14 years. Incredible A-level results, incredible university destination. We don't only say it, they get numerous awards year on year. And all that's getting a little bit better. So after being in the accommodation, in the premises that we are for the last 14 years, we're moving to a new building in Cardiff Bay. It's a £90 million development. It's, I think, probably the most expensive school development in the UK in the last 30 years. State-of-the-art, purpose-built teaching block. And then just 3 minutes a walk away is what we think is tall, 17 stories. It's actually the largest. It's the tallest block in Cardiff Bay, but it's a 17-story boarding house.
17 floors.
Yeah, 17 stories. 405 students can stay there. It's like a mini hotel. All single ensuite rooms for the sixth form, and sharing and twins for the years 10 and 11. So yeah, hugely exciting. Gives a whole range of students an opportunity, a greater range of students an opportunity to come and witness the magic of what is Cardiff Sixth Form College in Cardiff. We've obviously, I would be in trouble with Dr. Davis, the principal of Cardiff Cambridge, if I didn't mention they're still doing great things in Cambridge. Great academic city, huge history. And Dr. Davis over at Cardiff Sixth Form College in Cambridge is also running a great school. They're ranked incredibly highly as well. 2 brilliant schools, one now with an amazing campus coming on in September.
So am I in this economic situation? So why the school have decided to expand the premises at this stage? And
I think it's a really good question. I think it is a challenging environment in the UK, and we are seeing some turbulence in the market in terms of schools closing, and I think that will probably continue. Cardiff is in a very strong position. I think parents value the academic credibility of the college. Those schools where the results are continually good, I think will be fine. Those top level schools where parents can trust the academic product, trust that unique selling point of the school, I think they will continue to thrive. And Cardiff really does sit within that block. And I think it's always been Atif's dream to really push forward with Cardiff and give the students, and for us, the majority of those students come from overseas, but to give those students who come and their parents a facility that really matches the academic outcome of college. And I think, this is just the next level for the sixth form college. And it's enormously exciting. And I think it bucks the trend of the UK and that kind of that difficult phase we're in the UK. And I think actually for the whole of the sector, it's a really exciting point. And we've got another development coming on in London, a school called Nella Hall, which is going to be another fabulous project by the group. And I think that really shows that whilst the market is turbulent, Dukes continues to invest in education in the UK, as well as expanding overseas. And Nella Hall, which would be £100 million, and Cardiff Sixth Form, as we said, which was £90 million, are just, I think, a really stark example of the group being in a really good place and pushing forward the development of the quality of the offering.
Indeed, because a lot of our students and parents, when they inquire about studying overseas, they're I won't say like apart from the environment, the facilities, and the teaching quality as well. Obviously they have a dream behind. They want to chase after it, right? So it's having that confidence in the school and now taking further, expanding and allowing more students to able to portray dream as, I think it's kind of like having the opportunities given to the students, right?
Yeah, because the opportunity is not only, when I know the parents come with a dream, and we hope the students come with a dream, right? It's not just the parents' dream, but the students come with a dream, and we've just got to be mindful that, especially for highly driven students from this part of the world, that the dream is not just being placed at medical school, Oxbridge, UCL or LSE or any of those fantastic that is not just, they're not just defined by the destination, it's the experience that they have in the time they're with us as well, which is so vitally important, and the skills that they learn outside of those 3 or 4 obviously vitally important letters, those 4 A stars or 4 A grades. There's so much more behind it than the ability to study independently, to think critically, to have, what we're doing now, which is that social interaction where I hope you can feel comfortable with me and I can sit and feel comfortable with you, because that is hugely important. And that kind of blend of cultures of the dedication, the work, the grit, resilience of students from this part of the world, and possibly that more independence of thought, the critical thinking, the ability to communicate effortlessly in English are things that we can bind together to give them a hugely rewarding experience, and the facility will definitely at Cardiff Bay will benefit that style of teaching. So as I said, it's a new era. We're there. We're going to be in by term starts on the 11th of September. So it's all systems go.
Well, we're looking forward to visit the new campus and maybe take some videos and share with our parents as well. So,
you'll be very welcome.
So yeah, I will just let us marketing team to fly over to the UK and just film as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But having said that, the Dukes Education group also have other schools under the umbrella.
We do.
And you just mentioned also expand in Europe recently, as well as schools in Ireland. So taking the whole global insight. So how house movement have been shifted like over the years, and any differences in between the countries' education styles different in between?
I think when you're looking at students from Hong Kong, there's still a great affinity with British education. There's still a great affinity with A level and the rigor that A levels provide and the focus on those 3 or 4 core subject areas. And I think that remains. And certainly the discipline and the in-depth study that allows students from Hong Kong to go into really suits the personality that they have. And, I've been fortunate over the years to look after students from this part of the world in a number of different roles. And when I go back to my days as being a housemaster and looking after those students within the boarding provision, just being amazed at their dedication to their study. Walk around the house at 11 o'clock at night. And all the British boarding kids would be downstairs playing table tennis or whatever that might be, and you'd go and you'd find your students from Hong Kong, and they'd still be studying, they'd still be putting the time in. I think A levels really allow that incredible kind of depth and insight into the subjects, and allow students to go above and beyond the curriculum. So I think the British education is still something that is very attractive. But you're right, the landscape is changing slightly. We're obviously having some challenges of our own with VAT and things like that on fees, which I know we were talking about before we started this, and the rise of the international schools and the growth of the international schools has definitely given families another option. And whereas the British education system had pretty much it all its own way for 10, 15 years with students from Hong Kong, it's definitely not that way anymore. We see students going to Australia, we see students going to study in Singapore. So we are aware that it's a different environment. It's not such a given students from come to the UK, which for us is a great shame, because obviously we love the students for all the reasons that I've just explained about their work ethic. So yeah, we've got to keep adapting, and we've got to keep making it attractive for families and making it affordable for families.
So when families, when they make a decision, so apart from the curriculum, that teaching style that they need to consider, or any other advice that they need to take into the factored
when they're applying to UK,
anywhere around the world?
I think there are. I think specifically within the UK, I think at the moment, there has to be a level of understanding about the sustainability of that particular school. It's a really unfortunate thing. I can't, 3 years ago, you wouldn't be having that conversation. But there is turbulence in the school market. We've seen some closures within schools, and I'm sure none of your families or your listeners would want to embark on a course and have that school close and then not finish the course. So that's become a consideration that just didn't exist 2 or 3 years ago. So it's something to think about. And of course, there is, one of the great advantages of something like Dukes is there is safety within in numbers. You're not going to come to a Dukes school and not finish your course because the school shuts, because it's just not going to happen. And that's why you see a lot of schools in the UK forming little groups themselves, because it reinforces the sustainability of that product. I think in terms of the individual student, there is choice. There is choice, and for parents and students, it's really about identifying what you want from your school. I think they are very fortunate to work with highly skilled advisors, agents like yourselves, where they can put forward what their son or daughter really wants to do, and they can be accurately advised, knowing and trusting the people they're working with to try and place their son or daughter in a school that really suits them. Because there are a huge amount of great offerings out there in a huge amount of different areas. Dukes, we have 10 colleges, all which I hope will offer something different. But then there's a huge amount of other great schools in the UK as well, which will do other bits and offer other things as well. So from the UK's perspective, I think we're really well covered. And it's just competitive now. I think parents have choice, and they are becoming more aware of that choice.
Yeah, there's especially a local options as always, and other options for the families as well. So indeed, I know studying overseas is not just it's kind of like you have to take in many considerations, and it's not just one decision. It's about a whole family. And especially even after going abroad, it's like whole family business. It's not just one studying, working really hard, but also having the whole parents backing up the students with all the decisions that made. So yeah, but I'm glad that Duke is expanding and still finding and navigating.
Still expanding and still trying to provide as many options for those families as we possibly can. Because you're only... Atif once said to us that actually every single child's journey is as important as the last one. And I think that kind of resonates in terms of we bring students from all over the world, and it's about not, as we grow, it's about not losing sight of every journey, value of their journey, and the investment that their parents are making. I have a son, and I'm happy to say, he's the most important thing to me, right? And his education is therefore the most important thing to me, and where that gets him. And parents are placing a huge amount of responsibility and trust in us as a college or as a group, and we take that very seriously. It's something that we want to do the best that we have with us and look after them well as we can.
Right. Thank you so much, Donovan, for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem.
Before we wrap up, we talk about offer advice and everything. So before we wrap up, any other suggestion for our audience?
No, I would say in terms of moving, my experiences of obviously within the UK, apart from a year in the Middle East, I'd say that the British education system is still fantastic. I know there are plenty of options out there for parents and choice, and just to make sure that they're working with fabulous people, like yourselves, who really do understand what the schools are and where the schools find themselves in the current, slightly shaky climate. And yes, just make sure that they're allowing their kids to follow their passion.
Right.
That would be my biggest advice. And trust the experts, trust the process. Let their fabulous kids deliver and try and remove that pressure from performing schools like Cardiff, if that's what they choose, or fantastically creative schools like Fine Arts College, if that's what they choose, or foundation programs in Cambridge, if that's what they choose. It's no one size fits all, and the most important course that they're happy.
Right. Thank you so much. So if you're interested in Cardiff Sixth Form College or any Duke Education groups, the school under the umbrella, so feel free to contact us, and we will see you in our next episode. And thank you.